Extreme Foolishness TV. This is where I talk about extreme foolishness that goes on around you. By popular demand, I had to react to this Cheesecake Factory lady video. The lady who refused to get out of her car after this dude took her to the Cheesecake Factory. I'm going to play the video and give you guys my extreme foolishness reaction. A lot of you guys may have watched the video, but for the sake of folks who have not watched it, let me play the video.
Let me just get the door for you.
Okay. He got me at the Cheesecake Factory, y'all. I ain't getting out this car. Yes.
Would you want me to open the door for you?
Look.
Are you're recording me?
Yeah. Yeah. This is the Cheesecake Factory. This is the Cheesecake Factory, y'all.
What's the problem with that?
This is a chain restaurant. Who takes someone that looks like this to a chain restaurant?
You want to talk about it? I'm fine with talking about it, even in front of them.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Come on, get up on in the car. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Oh, okay.
Okay. So
yes, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
So you expect a man to go all out on the first date? Is that right?
I mean, you're supposed to. When you take out a beautiful woman and you're courting her, because I get courted. So you're courting her, right? You're supposed to take care of her. You're supposed to cover her. You're supposed to protect her, cherish her, treat her well, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I agree. I went into this date as I expect, with the expectations for myself, to keep you safe, to respect you, to pay for your food, of course, pick you up, of course, and just treat you like a gentleman, which I believe I have done.
I mean, you've been pretty nice, but
and then
Cheesecake Factory.
I, on the other hand, have certain expectations for a girl I go out with on the first date. I expect her to be respectful too. I expect her to be cooperative, and at least
what did I do that wasn't cooperative?
Well, I mean, even when we were walking to the car, you wouldn't put your hand around my arm or anything like that, or hold my hand or anything like that.
I mean, it's too early for that.
Okay.
I don't know you.
I can respect that. I can respect that.
Okay.
When I got to your apartment to pick you up, you didn't want to invite me in. I can respect that too. We're not
again. I don't
we're
know
not there
yet.
Okay.
I don't know yet.
And then, but
I feel like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do as a woman.
But
I got myself all made
There's nothing
up.
wrong with the Cheesecake Factory, right?
Yes, there's a lot wrong with the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay, well look at my planner where we were gonna go originally.
See, now that's where we should have went. All right there. Call him.
No.
What do you mean no?
See, I specifically told you both yesterday and this morning that I'd come to pick you up at 4 p.m. Right? And I got to your place at 4 p.m. You didn't even come downstairs for another hour, and so I was waiting downstairs for an hour. Right?
But I wasn't expecting for work to take me so long. I got home a little late, and like I said, I don't know you well enough to invite you up into my apartment, and that is not possible.
And that's why I'm thinking, okay, if we're not there in the relationship to meet at your apartment, then maybe we're not ready in a relationship for such a nice fancy restaurant as Aria, especially if I'm paying for the whole thing, which I'm still willing to do. I would have been, but if we're late, I told you twice.
It wasn't that late.
We literally left your place at the time the reservation was supposed to be.
Oh,
And I specifically said 4 because maybe we could get there early and even have some time to get to know each other on the way there and while we're in the parking lot.
I mean,
And waiting for a reservation.
we can still get to know each other. Isn't there another restaurant you can call that, like, you know,
No.
equivalent to that? I mean,
I literally
you don't
just said,
understand. Look at me. I cannot go in the Cheesecake Factory.
there's nothing wrong with
I
that.
will die. That's
Okay.
embarrassing.
Listen, as I said, I have very specific certain expectations for that.
No.
I can tell it's not gonna be there. And maybe we're not right for each other. So respectfully, I'm gonna
no,
just
he
drop you
didn't.
off at home.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Yeah, I'm up.
So you just want to call it a night? I mean,
Yeah.
isn't there some kind of compromise or something? Ladies, can you believe this?
I'm sorry, y'all.
He just pulled
but-
out of the parking space.
If I don't feel
you
respected,
see-
I am
mean-
not gonna go through
I
with
mean,
the rest
come
of the day.
on. Well, I mean, you are serious. You're really leaving.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't want this place anyway, right?
I mean, I understand that I was late. I understand that. I understand that I could have been a bit more cooperative. You made some good points. That's why I'm willing to compromise. Are you sure you want to go home?
I don't have a lot of rules. I don't have a lot of expectations for a first date, but I've already set them, and you've broken every one.
Oh
So
my God.
I'm sorry. We're dropping you off home.
All right, whatever. Well, I mean, I guess I understand. You got to do what you got to do. I understand where you're coming from.
Wow. First of all, when I saw the video, the first thing is like, who was her audience? Because she was recording the video for an audience. Her audience was women, most likely black women. And she was recording the video because she thought that she was going to shame him or embarrass him. Although a lot of women did not support her in the comments, but a lot of women were acting surprised as though they don't know that women act like this. A lot of women will act like this. They will say, "Well, I'm not going to a chain restaurant," and she felt like she was too big for Cheesecake Factory. Even Cheesecake Factory is really one of the nicer chain restaurants, but she had in her head that the women were going to support her, especially with all this sprinkle stuff going out there. Sprinkle lady telling women never settle. A man should go out there and spend all this money on you. This man did everything right. And he got to her house and waited an hour. And she didn't invite him upstairs. That's fine. You don't have to invite a man upstairs, but you can't make him wait an hour either. And he was too nice to even wait an hour. He should have been gone 5-10 minutes. So if you don't want a man to come upstairs who came to pick you up, then you have to be ready on time. And the reservation that the restaurant they were gonna originally go to, they lost the reservation because she was late, and she made it look like she was too good for the Cheesecake Factory. That's why a lot of women are gonna lose out on good men, because think about it. Her yardstick for measuring the man she would deal with is the restaurant they take her to. But this is common. And if that man were a black guy, he would have said, "Oh, don't worry, queen. I'm going to take you to whatever restaurant you are." I don't blame her. It's the man who tolerate this foolishness that I blame. She thought that guy was going to be a walkable pushover because he was a gentleman. He was nice. He was very, very pleasant. He tried to open the door for her. She refused to get out. She locked that door like, "Hold on, we're going to talk about it. Come over here." Because she thought she had the upper hand. And the guy was like, "Hold on." He had expectations too, just like she claimed she had her expectations. He had his expectations. her she's being unreasonable because ain't nothing wrong with the Cheesecake Factory. They should have at least taken her to McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, if she's so good, she said she was gonna die if she doesn't enter the Cheesecake Factory. What if he drove to pick her up with a hoopty? I'm sure she would say, "Oh, I'm not gonna get into this car because I would die if I get into your little Honda Accord. I only get in foreigns." Man, she got a disgusting attitude, man. Wow. And she's not even that. She's not even like a hot baddie like that. But sometimes, when you listen to so much uh, toxic stuff on social media, everybody now is a dating coach. You got a lot of this toxic women, especially on TikTok. They are now dating coaches. So they would tell these women, oh, make it hard for a man. If you make it hard for a man, he's going to appreciate you more. Don't go on chain restaurants. It got to be a fancy dinner. You got to manifest. You got to have your own standards. You got to do all those things. But a lot of these women are toxic. And she's a grown woman. So she thought that maybe this guy will treat her like maybe other guys have been treating her. They're just going to do whatever she tells them to do. But that guy said, no. I said, nope. I am not calling that restaurant. What is wrong with the Cheesecake Factory? So I blame a lot of men who tolerate this foolishness. You want to plan a date, you go pick her up, you go to a restaurant, she said, no, I'm too good for this restaurant. I'm too fly. You got to court me. Court. I don't even think she knows the meaning of the word court. Court doesn't mean the man has to do everything you say. That man was nice, was very, very pleasant, went to open the door for her. She refused to get out. And he said he expects a woman that he's dealing with to be cooperative. And at first she said she's being cooperative. Then as soon as the guy said, I'm going to take you home and go drop her home, she was now like, okay, she could be a little bit more cooperative. She was a little bit contrite. But this is just, unfortunately, when a lot of men say that, you have a lot of those women are entitled, this is just one manifestation of entitlement. She feels entitled that a man has to take her to whatever restaurant she wants to go. It could be a super expensive restaurant, even though you don't know this man that long to invite him over to your place. But apparently you know him long enough to want to go with him to an expensive restaurant, which he tried to do at first, but you couldn't make it because you were late. And but the sprinkle stuff, maybe, hopefully I can sprinkle some sense into this woman's head, because the attitude, man, the attitude was just disgusting. The attitude was disgusting. That is what really did it for me, man. The attitude was so disgusting, very, very rude. Even if you don't like the guy, there's still some form of decency that every human being should have. But this is very, very common in the dating market. It's very, very common. And I'm surprised that a lot of women are acting as though this doesn't happen that much, or they don't know. Think about it. A lot of women will say they don't want to go to Applebee's for a date, TGI Fridays, Ruby Tuesdays, the chain restaurants. So why are they surprised that this woman is saying she doesn't want to go to a chain restaurant like a Cheesecake Factory? And when men say that a lot of women feel entitled, they'll say, oh, that man is a misogynist. This is what those men are saying. The thing now is that a lot of women know that this happens, but they could not publicly defend this woman, because you can't defend the indefensible. This woman is indefensible. You would look like a dang fool to want to defend this woman in public. It looks like she just wanted to go for a free meal. Even if you want to go for a free meal, you go get your free meal at the Cheesecake Factory, or be on time. I think she thought he was weak. but he stood his ground. But if that guy were a black guy, I know a lot of black men, they would have capitulated to that woman's demand. So she thought this is another guy. She can just walk over him, go out there. And she felt she was in the right. Or at least that she felt like her audience was going to resonate with her. Whenever she was recording that video, remember she was saying, ladies, can you believe this? Ladies, can you believe this? Because she knows that that is a rhetoric that is being propagated in social media where women will say they don't do coffee dates. They have boundaries. They only go to fine. They only want fine dining. The man got to apply pressure. She got to plan an expensive date, and blah 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 blah. The sprinkle ladies, the sprinkle gospel has got this woman sent back to her crib. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about this whole scenario. It's real funny though. But shout out to the guy for waiting an hour. And shout out to the guy for opening the door. And shout out to the guy for saying no. Taking your extreme foolishness behind back home to where you belong. And hopefully, man, you've seen her. Avoid this woman like a plague. She's a no good person. Very, very rude, entitled, unappreciative person. You know, if a woman doesn't want to go to where you suggest, especially you paying, tell her, take her back home. Or most importantly, screen these women very well before you even want to agree to come take them out so you don't waste your time. Because I'm sure during the talking phase, this woman will have manifested her attitude. Her attitude will have manifested some kind of way. Maybe he ignored it. Maybe he wasn't very, very cognizant of the warning signs, the red flags or the yellow flags. And he still felt like, you know what, maybe we can just go to a date and see if there's a connection. But you don't want to take unappreciative, entitled women out anyway. Let them be by themselves and let them watch Miss Sprinkle. Sprinkle. Stay safe out there, my lovely people. Most importantly, say no to extreme foolishness.